Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5. Home to the Asian Oprah, number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Streaker, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? Well, I want to splatter more hope and happiness all over y'all because we don't talk about headlines because it gives you a case of the 4 A's. I don't know any news these days that doesn't leave you angry, aggravated, anxious, and or afraid. So y'all know that this is a place you can land. We're not talking about any of those headlines. Not that we don't care, but I only talk about problems if there's a solution to them. And I also bring you guests who will help you expand what you know and believe, and also because they told me that I wouldn't last more than a year because I did not talk about all those things. And I love proving people wrong. So over 13 years later and 1,557 podcast shows. Let me look at the bottom here. Yes. And 717 consecutive weeks. I'm still here and I'm still trying to get you to drink the Kool-Aid on how you can be happy 88% of the time. So as I mentioned, I have topics and guests to help you with that. And this morning is absolutely no exception to the rule. You do remember growing pains, I'm sure, at the risk of giving up the fact that I'm ageless. My special Tuesday talent guest today is the memorable youngest kid, Ben, in the TV Seavers Family with Dad Alan Thicke. This popular TV show was also the start for some other actors you may not have known about, including castmates Leonardo DiCaprio, Mathew Perry, and Brad Pitt even. I didn't even know about that one. He is much more than an actor. He has had quite the roller coaster of a career, and he has taken all of these experiences to the public in an effort, I believe, to help. And I love it when people in the limelight take their experiences and allow people to understand, some of the things that can happen and more importantly, how to get to the other side. I like to say that, our job is to go all the way through the pain and then pop up into our power. And Jeremy Miller is absolutely someone who has done that. So I'd like to welcome Jeremy Miller to the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. And I didn't tell you this because I like to, keep it fresh. We start every show with breakfast. So no, I'm sorry, no Uber Eats to you. However, we always take a bite of my gratitude sandwich. So what does that mean? Top of the bun is we look around. What are we grateful for that's around us, outside of us? And then bottom of the bun, at night before you go to bed, I want you to look inside. What are you grateful for inside of yourself? Also known as Abraham Hicks will say in the law of attraction, what do you appreciate about yourself? And it is my BS, my belief system, that good mental health starts and is founded on self-care, self-love, self-soothing, self-approval. And that's why we do this every show for the last over 3 years now. I've kind of incorporated this. So I loved having breakfast with my guests So, Jeremy Miller, I'll start off. I am grateful for this gorgeous weather we're having in Southern California. It's like summer again. It is messing with my closet a little, but I'm not complaining. I am grateful for the way the sun looks on the water, reflecting back the love of my ocean of abundance. What are you grateful for?
I love that. The same, being located in Southern California, we had quite a bit of rain and cold, and it's nice to have our usual break of sunshine. And we're very blessed to be able to receive that, as well as just as I always do when I look around. I'm just so thankful to have my home and a place that's safe for my family to come and to visit, and that my beautiful fiance made it home safe this morning from work.
Oh, yes. I've seen you as an aside um, at many events. So I'm grateful for that. Harlan is my favorite publicist,
Oh,
and he
love
goes
Harlan.
to all these places and seeing people, Danelle Danigan, all of those. Ruta Lee's been on the show several times, and so I see you, and we've talked about getting you on it. I don't know
Mhm.
why, but everything happens and it's divine timing, and I'm so glad that you're here. But I raise that to say that every time I see you and your fiance, who is your manager as well,
Yes.
it's hashtag relationship goals, because it's so apparent how much she loves and supports and is 100% your I would say biggest fan, and at the same time you are her biggest fan, and I just think that it's lovely. So I wanted to
Thank
say
you.
that I'm grateful for the role modeling that you guys have.
I am just incredibly blessed to have such an amazing woman, as you said, who absolutely loves and supports me. And her and I talk about it, have talked about it many, many times. It's nice to have someone who honestly loves you as much as you love them. I'm
Yes.
very blessed to have someone who puts as much effort into this relationship as I do, and that's a rare thing. So I,
Yes.
I'm
So that's your
I count my
gratitude.
blessings every day.
So we're gonna put her in your gratitude
Absolutely.
list on there. Not that you weren't gonna do it as well. I'm gonna be grateful for hot showers after a hot workout. I think that sometimes we get a little too uh, take for granted some of the creature comforts we have living in America.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's one more gratitude from you outside of yourself, and then we'll go down inside.
Um, Honestly, outside of myself, I'm truly grateful for the amazing friends and support system that I have around me, that I've managed to cultivate over many, many, many years. Thankfully, you know, people of a like mind tend to gravitate towards me, and I hold on to those people. So I'm very, very grateful for them.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Let's go to the bottom of the bun, which is weightlifting for yourself, for self love. This is where you do this before you go to bed at night. So instead of thinking about, oh, I should have done this, or I forgot to do this, or I should have said that, you're thinking instead, I like that I am. And you raise those parts of you that maybe you were told, I don't know, some parents, they're well meaning, but sometimes they're more mean than well. I had one of those. She did the best that she could, but don't toot your own horn. You're not all that. Who do you think you are? And so we grow up thinking that we need approval from others in order to feel good about ourselves. And I want us to, get rid of that BS, that belief system, and find what you're good at, who you are, and love yourself, so that you're thinking about that before you go to bed. And it also helps you to stop thinking about, who done me wrong, right? Blame and shame. So
Mhm.
that's why we do this exercise. I'll start it off. I like that I am fun loving. I love anything that elicits my favorite sound in the world, which is laughter. So I love playing with words. I love joking around. I love teasing. I try not to be, the person that is, you can dish it out, but you can't take it. But most of the time I'm successful and just love that part of me. I don't, that's why I'm ageless and I'll never retire because I do enjoy all the things that 88% of the things I like to do. So that's mine. What's yours? What do you like about yourself, Ben? I mean, Ben, Jeremy.
I like that I was able to help someone today, and that I now make that the focus of my day, is that I look for opportunities to affect and make someone else's day a little bit better.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. That's it for breakfast because there's so much more to learn about Jeremy Miller. But I did I love to start this way. It sort of sets it. And then what my guests really have in their, consciousness is out now instead of what you read about them. So you got a firsthand, what's important to Jeremy Miller. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. Every weekday morning, I do this. I hope it's a good life habit that you adopt because frankly, my dear, if you can't approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect anybody else to? So thanks for joining us for breakfast. I promise if you do so, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. And now for the topic of the day. It's Jeremy Miller. That is the hashtag Tuesday talent. Jeremy Miller is here. If you've just tuned in and wondering what's going on in studio, we do have an actor that many of us have grown up with, kind of, watching that show and watching the shenanigans. And you were a little bit of a in addition to your scream, you were I put the promo up. I don't know if you saw which one that was. I thought that was like super funny. Your little dance there, but certainly was, that's how we know you growing up. And I didn't do a lot. I don't like doing a lot of research because a lot of what's out there isn't even true. So I'm going to do something that I usually do with my guests. Instead of reading that whole bio, what will come out is what is meant to come out. But I want to ask you a question. I don't have an answering machine. Now, I don't even know if you're old enough to know what an answering machine is. I tell them
who remembers?
Gen Z, go ask my assistant Google. But it's voicemail. You may know that even more so. But I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, "Who are you and what do you want?" So, Jeremy Miller, who are you at the core of who you are and what do you want?
I'm a very simple guy. It's taken me a long time to figure out who I am, a lot of work through sobriety and things like that. And I'm a very simple guy. All I want to do is make the world around me, and I mean my small community, a little bit better. I'm a performer. I'm somebody who loves to entertain and loves to bring a smile to people's faces. But getting to do that's amazing. But on a daily basis, just being able to do little things for people, you see someone drop something, you pick it up for them, you hold the door, you ask someone how they're doing when you see they're a little bit off. And I'm the type of guy who I actually engage. If I see somebody and they really look like they're struggling, I'll start a conversation with them and see if I can get them to start, talking a little bit. I've had some very deep conversations with complete strangers just doing that. But that's who I am. That's who I want to be nowadays. I want to be able to focus on that. It helps keep the focus off of myself. It helps keep me out of here, which can be a very dangerous place for somebody, in recovery. And that's really it. There was a time in my life where I did those things because I wanted people to like me. I did those things because I wanted people to say good things about me. Now I do those things because that's what I want to do. That's who I want to be. I really don't care if anybody sees it. I don't care if I get any praise for it. It's just the type of person I'm trying to be every day.
And I believe that is who you are at the core of who you are, that it's always been. And I believe that all of us have that. I believe that humankind, the kindness that is supposed to be in humankind, that's who we are all naturally. But these things that we learn by experience, or what we see, or what we think other is the way to be, kind of blocks us from who we really are. That's my BS anyways, my belief system. But I want to just say welcome, Jerry. Jerry David, or Jerry Sam, is watching from West Africa. I think that's my first watcher from West Africa.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, we've had East Africa.
Hey, Jerry.
Coast, and Shahib Ali watching from Iraq. And I do believe you're my first Iraq. I do have 101 countries that do stream as a number, but I think we just added 2, and I'm so grateful that you're here, and welcome to the show. We do have my Tuesday talent guest today, Jeremy Miller, and I want to just put the moose on the table right now. That is, I was born in Canada, so I use moose on the table as my version of talking about the elephant in the room. So we're going to put the moose on the table. And one of the reasons why I wanted you to introduce yourself that way is there is a lot out there on you. And it's almost like you have become, let's ask Jeremy on, because the public knows about your addictions and how the pain of all of that has sort of derailed you for a time period. And then you wrote the book. Wait, let me get it right. When I Wish Upon a Star.
When I Wished Upon a Star, yes.
Wish About Broken Homes to Mended Hearts, which beautiful title. And I didn't want necessarily for that to be, one more time someone's going to ask you about that. So that was on purpose. What you don't know that I sort of alluded to in the green room is I'm in, let's see, what day is it today? On the 25th, which is less than a week, I will be 17 years.
Wow, congratulations. That is amazing. That is amazing.
I wanted to surprise you with that.
I love that.
On camera. And we share a lot in common because of that. And Happy, Joyous, and Free is certainly, I know what is my goal, or why I'm here, is to be that. And that is the universe's will for me. And I actually call him my UPS man, universal power source. And he delivers every morning when I pray and meditate. So there you go. So that you totally can relax around that. Although, there are traditions. And so I think that it is great to know that there's a solution. So that's one thing I wanted to highlight, is if you're someone who has struggled or is struggling, as Jeremy is going to talk to us right now about, sort of in an abridged version as much as possible, talk to us about, this is the first half of the show. We talk about issues and problems and, the descent. And the second half of the show, we talk about, solution and sort of so tell me sort of the, I want to know about what, 2020 hindsight, looking back, you started very young. And I've always been, when I first started this show, and Fran Drescher came on, and like early on, and Melody Beattie and Jerry Mathers, and I wanted to understand, what was it about Hollywood that is it just because you're in the spotlight and everybody else also has these issues, but because of Hollywood it's highlighted? Or is there something about Hollywood that is indicative of that descent, so to speak?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think it definitely varies, person to person. What gets to them or what becomes their hang up is different for each person. But I really, like, for me, it wasn't so much the Hollywood stuff that drove me into my addiction. Now, I had issues that I dealt with from the Hollywood stuff, and I'll talk about that in a second, but it really wasn't anywhere near the core of my addiction. My addiction stemmed from trying to run away from sexual abuse and mental abuse as a child. When that stuff started rearing its head in my psyche around 18 years old, I started drinking pretty regularly. My solution at the time was the bottle.
Right.
And so I've seen other friends of mine who went down the same road, and they went down that road because they started partying young, because it was available, and nobody, especially if you're successful and famous, nobody stops you. I mean, everybody knows, or at least most people do, the famous stories of Drew Barrymore being let into clubs in New York at 10 years old and being given drinks. It happens. Nobody wants to tell you no, whether it's because they're afraid of losing their job, whatever it is. So that is much more available in the industry. Drugs and alcohol can be found pretty readily. So people do go down that path, and it can be as simple as it will. And a lot of us go into it because you've heard the stories, whether you're a big Hollywood fan, and it's even dating back to the Rat Pack and the Humphrey Bogart days. I mean, those guys were wild. They were partying all the time, and people go into the business a lot of times with the idea that that's who you're supposed to be.
Right.
So when it becomes available, you don't think, you don't give it a second thought. It's just like, oh, well, yeah, I'm an act. I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be. And I saw friends go down that road. My story, like I said, was a little bit different, but I really do believe that the industry handicaps young actors because we don't get nobody teaches you how to function in real life. You learn how to function on a set. You're told where to be. You're told how to behave. You're told how to feel. Everything you do is guided for you. And then you get out into the world and you're on your own and you have no clue how to function. And I saw so many of my friends, as well as myself, deal with that. And many of us dealt with it in very bad ways.
Right.
I didn't deal with it in the healthiest ways. It definitely contributed to my alcoholism as it began and as it ramped up.
Yeah.
But I believe all child actors really do get hamstrung like that, for lack of a better word.
So two things. One is, I, like you, are one of the 7 out of 10 of us who've had childhood trauma. It is, and there was a point where I went, wait a minute, we're the majority. Why do we think we're never gonna, catch up? Why do we think we need to be fixed? Why do we think there's something wrong with us? If it's 7 out of 10, hold on, that means pain or that kind of trauma has to have a purpose. We're the majority, right? So that was one thing. So I now believe it's my BS and my Kool-Aid that I really do see that pain as chiseling, and it's a special superpower we have if we work through that pain and pop up into the power, right? The second is, I had thought the reason why many child actors seem to go that route is because of all of the rejection that everybody talks about happens in Hollywood. So you as a child actor, you're out there, you're famous, people see you, recognize you, love you, and then at some point it will dip unless you get consecutive giant roles,
Mhm.
right? And dealing with that rejection, alcohol is a great number. Drugs are a great number. You don't think about, as you were saying, that voice in the head. I call it my mind is a dangerous neighborhood. You don't want to go in there alone, right? We
Mhm.
all know that one.
Absolutely.
So I thought that's where you were going to go when you were first talking about that. But welcome, Danny Hooley is here. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Danny.
Oh, Danny.
I know Danny. Danny's been
Whoa.
a big fan for a while. Him and I have chatted many times.
Wonderful. Well, welcome to the show. And feel free. There's people. I see your eyeballs coming in. Make sure if you have questions for Jeremy, put them in the chat. Unless you're driving. If you're tuned in right now, I'm on at 8 a.m. drive time on my NBC News Radio channel. Please don't chat while you're driving. Get somewhere safe. All right. So, when you were experiencing these things, these were in Hollywood, the abuse from producers or?
No, I actually was very safe in Hollywood, thankfully.
Okay.
I don't have that story. It was a family member by marriage, and I was actually very well protected and looked out for on our show.
Okay.
Even though we came to find out after the show that two of our long-term people were predators. One of our producers went to prison very soon after our show for actual production of child material.
No.
Yes. And then one of our stand-ins and dialogue coaches was unfortunately the centerpiece of that Nickelodeon documentary, and he went to prison for his abuse of Drake from the Nickelodeon show Drake and Josh.
Oh my
These were guys that I was very close to, that I was around every day. So I was thankfully very looked out for. My parents were one of my parents was almost always on set. At the times that they weren't, my teacher on set, who also is your social worker, they're considered your guardian on set, was always keeping an eye on me. Alan and Joanna, who played my parents, were very paternal in real life. So they both looked out for me. They looked out for all of us. We had a very good set. So even though, yes, there were two predators on our set, we were protected. We were very looked out for. I was very blessed because I have, unfortunately, a few friends who don't have that same story. And they did end up, with a very negative experience.
Yeah. Corey Feldman's been on my show a couple of times, and his story is not as, protected. And it is one of those things where it is horrible that it happened. And yes, it should not have happened for sure. And at the same time, I've learned that, I can either stay in blame or shame or both, or choose to say, what is being developed or what was developed in me as a direct result of that. And certainly, your desire to help others, your desire to take what you have experienced and put it into motion on something that is helpful to others. I
truly believe that is the best way to get through those traumas and those things, is you take that pain and you turn it around and use it for something good.
Yeah.
And that's why I went public with my story finally. When I first tried to get sober, one of my first attempts, I was using different names. I was very embarrassed. I was very ashamed. And when I finally got it, that's when I made the decision. You know, I did a lot of talking to the people I trusted in recovery, but that's when I made the decision that I wanted to go public with it, that I wanted to talk about it. I wanted, if I could help even one person with it, that made it worth it. And I can honestly say, I'm not patting myself on the back, but since coming out with my story, I hope I have helped. I can't say I have for sure, but I have talked hundreds of people that I don't know, you know, through many different crises in recovery. And I've been gifted the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
So where I'm at in my life, I've always said, with all the pain and everything I went through, I wouldn't take anything back. If I had the opportunity, I wouldn't change any of it. It's made me who I am. It's given me the heart for others that was always there. It's just out and open. And, you know, that's everything I gained from all of that, you know, horribleness.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't trade it, you know, I really wouldn't. I know that sounds weird with all the torment, I mean, a lot of people hear that and they're like, you're full of it. I mean, that's really the first reaction a lot of people have to that. But I wouldn't change it. As horrible as all that was, I wouldn't. It's led me exactly where I need to be.
Yes. And 100%, that's a moose drop. So I totally agree with you. I don't regret anything. And that's part of you know, one of the philosophies in a 12-step program. You know, you're only as sick as your secrets. And then at the same time, you'll get to a point where you don't regret anything. And there's such a freedom in that. So if you are listening and you're struggling and you don't necessarily think that you're that bad, or you think you are, you know, at the end of your rope, please do go reach out. It is easy to find 12-step programs now, which is really a luxury in our country, I think, especially in California, just promoting solution here. It's not the only way, but it's
absolutely. I mean, there's many different modes, but find something. And even the old school 12-step philosophy was, you know, find a friend, a trusted friend who will understand. Every one of us knows someone who has fought addiction. Most of us know someone who's been successful. Reach out to that person. Reach out to a trusted friend or a clergyman, a pastor, whoever you trust, but reach out. You can't do this alone, you know, and none of us were made to. That's the facts. I'm sorry. I believe that wholeheartedly. None of us were made to try and get through this crazy world alone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. The natural reaction, I don't know if you went through it, but when I was going through it, the tendency is to say, if you're pissed, you're like, fine, I don't need you. I'm going to go live on a desert island alone. Nobody understands me. And then you get to the end and you're like, I'm lonely. And that doesn't help. It is true that, you know, again, humankind, we're meant to be of help to others. It makes us feel good when we help others. That's a natural thing. And I'm going to give you, before we go on a break, I love people in the industry who have taken their pain and their darkness and their limelight and transferred it to a spotlight and a soothing light to help others around them. And for them, I give Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award. And that goes to Jeremy Miller. And I don't give that to all my guests. So
very sweet. Thank you.
Now, we have to break for news, weather, traffic, and a word from our sponsor. So don't go away. We'll be right back in 2 and 2. Chuck Woolery used to say, I say peace in and peace out. More from Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show, and Tuesday talent guest, Jeremy Miller. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Well, she has been dubbed the Asian Oprah, and she just wants all of us to be happy.
Dr. Marissa, aka the Asian Oprah, says the most important thing you can choose is choosing to be happy.
You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa.
That's the idea for Dr. Marissa Pay's new book called 8 Ways to Be Happy.
Many of us say, I am my own worst critic. Nobody's harder on me than I am. And my response to that is, stop it! Why are you doing that to yourself? You have to be your biggest fan, because if you can't at the end of the day say, I did a good job, who is? We don't have to constantly be angry at the things that are wrong. Why don't we choose to be happy about things that are right? We have the choice. That's our muscle. And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuning in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 106.5, home to the Asian Oprah, number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course my YouTube TV channel. That's my show central that houses not only my 1,557 podcast shows, but also my celebrity playlist with interviews with Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, and more. So make sure you free subscribe. Give me the finger. This one, not the other one, and you'll get access to all of those shows. And I'm so delighted to have with me today my Tuesday talent guest. You'll remember him as the young, little, precocious Bob Seaver on Growing Pains, Alan Thicke, hashtag Canadian Pride. But Jeremy's, no, not just for that, he's also... I didn't know this. He voiced Linus Van Pelt in the animated TV Happy New Year, Charlie Brown. He's had lots of other acting. He's told me today he's doing some producing. So he's also the author of a great book, if you want to, from his words and not from other people's commentary about his words and what happened to him. Can you tell this is a little bit of a sore point with me, is when people talk about things that, you know, everybody has a right to my opinion and is like, no. The author himself, When I Wished Upon a Star, From Broken Homes to Mended Hearts. Please welcome back to my studio, Jeremy Miller. Can you tell I like affirmate?
I love it.
Okay, so I would love to know how you met your beautiful, wonderful fiance. And I love love stories, even though I'm happily divorced. So if you don't mind, how'd that happen?
Absolutely. I was actually in New Orleans filming the second Growing Pains reunion movie. And here's a little backstory to that that'll show you. I mean, I truly believe it was just destiny, you know, right place, right time. We weren't even supposed to be in New Orleans. Okay. Originally, the movie was supposed to play on ABC later in the year. But we got word, so we were going to film during summer in Montreal, where we had filmed the first reunion film. Well, we got word ABC wanted to have it on by Thanksgiving, so we had to move up filming. Well, you can't film in Montreal in February, so they had to find a different location, and we ended up in New Orleans. So after I'd been there for a few weeks at this point, and after a very long, very tiring day, I mean, it was one of those 18-hour days where just everything went wrong. The light wasn't working, the camera stopped, it was just one of those very trying days. I was exhausted. I'm still drinking back then, so I get back to the hotel and I run up to my room to get changed, and all I want to do is go to one of those corner shops they have and get one of those giant alcoholic Slurpees of theirs. And I'm going to get that. I'm going to crawl into my bathtub. I'm going to relax, and I'm going to go to bed. So I'm heading down in the elevator, and this beautiful woman and some guys get in the elevator. And they looked at me and they're like, "You look like you've been here for a while. Do you happen to know where Burger King is? You know, it's late, we're hungry." And I gave them directions. Quickly. I mean, we're going down 20 floors. It's got to be pretty quick. But by the time we're almost to the bottom, she kind of recognizes me. She does sort of a double take. And she goes, "Do you know who you look like?" I said, "No, who?" And she said, "I forget it." I was like, "No, really, tell me. Who do you think I look like?" And she goes, "Did you ever watch that show, Growing Pains?" I was like, "Yeah, I saw it." She's like, you know the little brother?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Anybody ever told you look like him?" I said, "All the time, because that's me." And she said, "Shut up." And she smacked me in the shoulder.
Oh my God.
And I said, "No, really, that's me." And she again said, "Shut up." And she smacked me in the shoulder. So I joke that apparently I liked abuse because I was immediately in love. It really was. I mean, I was never a believer in love at first sight, but I mean, I was hook, line, and sinker from the moment she walked into that elevator. And, you know, I kind of introduced myself, and then we went our separate ways. She went to go get her food. I went to go get my drink. And by the time I came back, we literally walked back up to the elevator, the same elevator at the exact same time.
Oh, yeah.
And ended up in the elevator going back up to our rooms together. So we started talking again, and I let her know that, hey, the whole cast is here in New Orleans. So I said, would you like an autograph? I can have the cast, I'll sign something for you and I'll leave it at the front desk. And she said, "Oh, that sounds awesome. I really appreciate that." We talked a little bit more, and I had been alone. Kirk was there with his family. Tracy, who played my sister, is there with her family. Alan's there with his soon-to-be wife at that point. And Joanna was there directing it. So she's busy and doing her own thing. So I was all alone in New Orleans. Here were some people, A, a very beautiful woman who I was attracted to, but B, some other guys my age. So I was like, I don't know what you guys are up to. This is my room number. If you guys want to hit me up and we'll go to a jazz club or we'll go do something, I'd love it. And she still says, she tells everybody, she's like, he gave me his room number right away. So like, that wasn't what I was doing. I was honestly just trying to find some people to hang out with. But anyway, the next day, literally, I was supposed to be filming with the cast. So I told her I'd get her autograph, and it fell through. Our shooting schedule changed. So I wasn't going to be filming this day, and I wasn't going to be seeing anybody. So I took a script and I signed it for her, and I left that at the desk. And I went out to get breakfast and do some things. And by the time I got back around noon, there was a note slipped under my door that just said, "Thank you so much. That was incredibly sweet. I really appreciate that. I don't know what you're up to, but my friend who I came to New Orleans to see is bringing her son to the hotel, and we're going to go down to the pool and hang out." So I went down to the pool and spent 4 hours down there talking with her.
Wow.
And we've been hopelessly in love ever since. We did long distance. We've been together now for, we're coming up in on February 24th. It will be 22 years.
Oh my goodness. 22 years ago.
22 years. 22
Wow.
incredible years with that beautiful, amazing woman. So,
and how old were you then? If I can ask.
So I was 27.
Okay.
27.
27. Now on Wikipedia or it says spouse, but you said fiance.
Yes. People get it confused. We actually were set to be married back in '07. You know, invitations about to go out. We had everybody booked, caterers and the venue and everything was set. Deposits were out. And I got called back to Shanghai to finish filming a movie that I thought we were done with. I was still under contract. And they called me back for the entire month of July, which was supposed to be when our wedding was.
Oh, wow.
So they were a very litigious company as well. So I knew if I didn't go back, I'd end up in court.
Oh.
And we ended up losing all our deposits, and it all fell apart. It was 777. It happened to fall on a Saturday. It's Joni's favorite number. She's not into numerology or anything. It just is her favorite number. And it all just kind of fell into place. So I told her afterwards, I said, I'm not going anywhere. I know you're not going anywhere. You set the date. You find another number that you like or another Saturday that lines up with anything you like, and we'll do it. So that's basically, I tell everybody, I joke that I'm the one guy in America waiting for the woman to set the date. But again, we've been together 22 years. In my mind, that is my wife. That is my soulmate. That is my partner in every sense of the word.
Yeah. And in a weird romantic way, I've always liked the sound of fiance. I don't know. It's just like there's like a little special, feeling about that versus, this is my, my joke is my honey, sugar tea bag, like that. Once the marriage, that's why I'm not married. But anyways, so what are you doing now, and what do you want to do? And I know you're helping people in the recovery side.
Yeah, I still work in the recovery side. I still work with people. I don't work with a clinic or anything like that anymore. I did do that for a little while, the clinic that helped me get sober, the program. I was a patient advocate for them for 3 years and worked directly with every patient who came through, was their touch point and their support person through their recovery. Now it's just something I do in my spare time. Like I said, it's the people that I work with in recovery know me from wherever. I mean, sometimes it's people that I end up talking to just over, Facebook Messenger or something like that, because they saw an interview like this.
Right.
And they reach out to me because they don't know where else to turn.
And that's a great thing.
And I love that. I truly do. In my work stuff, I'm also a chef beyond being an actor. I mean, I went to culinary school. I had my own catering company at one point. I'm a private chef now. So I still do that. I teach private cooking parties, which are really fun. 8 to 12 people, or anywhere from 6 to 12 people. And I come to your place, or we use one of my rental kitchens, and you pick any theme you want or a certain type of cuisine. And I teach them 4 or 5 dishes in that style, and
what's your
teach
best
them where
dish?
it came from. Everybody gets to eat what I make as we're doing it. It's a fun time. So I do that stuff when I'm not acting or when I'm not pursuing, entertainment jobs. Like you said, I'm producing now some as well. So I have a couple reality shows that I'm talking to different networks and production companies about. I have a couple of movies that some friends of mine have put together, some very good writers that I'm trying to help put together and move forwards, as well as I'm still acting. I did a new series that will hopefully be dropping soon. It was supposed to drop at the end of the year on BET Plus. It still hasn't dropped yet. You can check out my page or any of my socials, my webpage, anything like that. I keep you updated. So if you want to find out when it's coming out, I will let you guys know when it happens. But it's a cop drama, and I play the lead detective's partner. It's a very cool show. I'm very proud of this season of it. I'm really anxious for it to come out so everybody can see it. So I'm still acting. I have multiple.
What's the name?
The name is called Angel.
Okay.
And as I said, it will be on BET streaming when it finally drops.
Yeah.
It has some, wonderful talent in it. The amazing R&B star MC Light is actually the lead detective, and it is an amazing. I mean, I had no idea what I was walking into. She's known for her rap and her R&B and her, so I had no idea what kind of actress she would be, and she's amazing. She's a wonderful actress that I got to work with and play off of. So very proud about that and excited for it to come out, as well as I have 3 movies that I am tied into, that all are trying to put together the final financing or the final production. So hopefully we'll be shooting all 3 of those. 2 of them are horror and one of them is a dramedy. And hopefully we'll be shooting those by the end of the year. So I'm still involved. I'm still in it. I'm still chasing my passions. And I'm very blessed that I have 2 things that I'm very passionate about. I love acting. It's definitely my home. I never feel as at home or comfortable as I do in front of the camera. But at the same time, when those jobs aren't coming through, or if things are taking a while because the financing hasn't happened yet, whatever it is, I stay busy doing my cooking. And I am very passionate about that, and I love that. So I'm very blessed that I have 2 opportunities to stay busy.
Awesome. I'm gonna offer you up to Doors of Change, which is one of the organizations that I publicly support. They take homeless youth off of the streets in San Diego.
Oh, I love that.
Giving stuff away. So I'm going to put you up as giving, donating one of your cooking things, like Anson from Happy Days, Anson Williams, who's been on the show. He gave away the Fonz's lunch with the Fonz. But I think one of your cooking parties would be a great raise.
I would love to do that. I have donated them to a few organizations before, so yes.
Good. What's your big dish? What's the one dish that?
Honestly, that's part of why I've always done catering and private chefing. Is I'm very ADD. I was brought up cooking Southern and Creole and even Midwestern old school classics. That was what my grandmother cooked. But then when her house was taken by the city because they eminent domained her and needed it for a parking lot for the new park and ride or whatever it was, she moved up north and opened a small little Mexican-American restaurant. So I worked there. As a kid on hiatus, when we would go on break from shooting the show, I'd go work at Grandma's restaurant with her. And I learned to cook those things from her.
Okay.
Then I went to culinary school and I went to Le Cordon Bleu. So I was classically French trained. And when I was in Shanghai, when I was filming, I apprenticed at 3 different restaurants while I was out there. So I've learned Shanghainese and so I'm very eclectic, and I create a menu specifically designed for each client. So, like I said, with the cooking parties, I've done everything from just Italian cooking or Chinese to 30-minute meals for busy moms. I've done kids cooking parties where I show simple dishes that the kids can actually cook themselves. Taught the kids how to make a homemade chicken Alfredo and different things like that. So it really depends on what the person wants to learn, what style they want to learn, and then I develop a specific menu for that. So I really don't have what I would call a signature dish. I'm known for my soups. I love making soups. There's just something magical about throwing all those ingredients in, letting it simmer away for hours and hours, and coming up with magic at the end. But truthfully, each menu I do is completely unique based on what the client wants.
Wow. So I thought I was going to be able to say, well, I can do Chinese, and I've taught Chinese cooking lessons, but you got me on that one. I just looked you up. It's very easy to find him, Jeremy James Miller. And I'm glad there were 3 Jeremy Millers on Facebook. I did pick the right one. So here you go. There's a lot of ways to see all the things he does. So feel free to go there. And I think you're very active on social too. So there you go. Can you see that? Yes. Good.
So yeah, that's how I'm staying busy. That, and again, as we said, just trying to be there and help, people. And because of that, and this is in no way a complaint, but I mean, I'm generally on the phone probably 2-3 hours a day sometimes, talking with different people in recovery, working with different people in recovery. It's a big part of my day most days. And I love that. So it keeps me busy. I always say better busy than bored. Bored is very dangerous for me. My mind starts running uncontrollably when I'm bored.
Neighborhood. Yeah. Yeah. I say we go into, I made this term up actually. We go to MSU University.
Yep. Love it.
Making shiitake up, right? We got to drop out of that university.
Yep.
And if you do have time, I am working on almost done a screenplay called Life by 1,000 Cuts.
Oh.
So I would love for you to take a look at that at some point.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to. And you just reminded me of another thing that I do. I do this for friends, and I've also started doing this for different, I'm starting to do it for different production companies as well. I'm doing script consulting. I am not a writer, a screenwriter. I do not have the ability to write good dialogue and to have that creative genius to come up with a great story. That's not my strong suit. I know that. But I've been in this business since I was 5 years old. I've read 1,000 scripts. I know what works. I know what doesn't. And I tighten scripts up for people. I tighten the dialogue up. I let them know this is working, this isn't. But I've started doing script consulting as well, as if I needed more to fill my time. But but I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it because, again, I know what a good script looks like, and I can guide someone into getting it where they need it to be to have their best opportunity to sell that, project and move it forwards.
Well, that's great. And we're out of time. So final word from you.
Oh, this has been so much fun. And like we talked about, everyone, if you're struggling with anything, especially with addiction, but anything, we weren't made to do this alone. Reach out to someone, reach out to a friend, reach out to a neighbor, reach out to a pastor, whoever you feel comfortable with, reach out to them. Don't isolate. I did it for many years. Trust me, it doesn't work. Reach out, and also reach out and try and help someone else. It really is a wonderful thing to get you off of your own problems, off of your own situation that you might be struggling with right now. And you focus on making somebody else's life a little bit better. It makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. We're going to have to sign out now. You know this drill. I think I've interviewed you on location enough. If you hold up your fingers, it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Thank you so much, Jeremy Miller, for
Thank you so much for having me
and getting to know you better. And now go and have, today is Tuesday. Tomorrow's Doctors in the House with Dr. Tiffany Tate. So keep it here. I'll see you in the morning. Now go and have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow.